What are you doing, sir? Can I see your ID?
Bruh. My ID?
Yeah.
Hey, you out of here now! Now!
I noticed her because the house was too quiet for someone who still lived there. The kind of quiet that settles in after loss and never really leaves. She lived alone in that small, weathered home after her husband passed away, her children scattered across other states with busy lives and distant voices that only came through the phone once in a while. Most days, she stayed inside, curtains half closed, afraid to bother anyone, afraid that asking for help would mean owing something she could never repay. Her income came from Social Security, just enough for groceries, utilities, and the medications that lined her kitchen counter, but never enough for repairs or yard work. So the grass kept growing, and the walkway slowly disappeared under weeds. When I started clearing a narrow path along the curb so she could step outside without risking a fall, she stood in the doorway, watching like someone witnessing a miracle they did not feel entitled to. She told me she had not spoken face-to-face with anyone in days, sometimes weeks, and that the silence made her forget why she should even keep the house tidy anymore. Not long after, a neighbor appeared with a sharp voice and folded arms, saying the property had been reported and that this kind of work was not allowed. Before I could explain, a police car pulled up, lights flashing, and the mood shifted instantly. The officer spoke firmly about authorization and complaints, words that sounded heavy to someone who did not fully understand the rules but understood fear very well. The woman's hand shook as she explained she was not trying to break any laws. She was only trying to survive quietly without causing trouble. She kept apologizing for things no one should have to apologize for being old, for being alone, for not being strong enough anymore. The officer looked between the paperwork and the overgrown yard, while the neighbor insisted rules were rules. I stood there holding my trimmer, wondering when helping someone became something that required permission. Watching her shrink under the weight of uniforms and regulations, I realized this was not just about grass or property lines. It was about whether compassion still had a place in a system built on rules. If you were standing there, would you have chosen the law or the woman who just wanted to walk safely out of her own home? And what does that say about the kind of community we are becoming?